Hello Magic players, SkyLagger speaking from France, and welcome to my channel where we are playing and discussing some control and mid-range builds so we can learn together and help making our Magic environment a better place by promoting interactive builds. And today we are playing Jeskai Tempo in a modern league, so stay tuned! Are you ready to take control of the game? Did I just break it? So here is the list I'm going to play with. It's pretty stock, 24 lands. I'm not playing Field of Ruin. I know some players did pretty well at Pro Tour Revolve of Ixalan with Field of Ruin, but I don't think that we can afford really to play a colorless land because we are playing some very colored spells. Path of Exile is 1 white, 1 blue for Vision Spell Snare, 1 red for Lightning Bolt, red and white for Lightning Helix, 2 blue for Vanillion Click, blue and white, etc, etc. And so we really need our colors, and I don't think that playing Field of Ruin is that powerful because sometimes you will regret it. And yeah, I just think that we can win against Tron without it, even though it's more difficult, of course. So for Path Exile, for Lightning Bolts, for Serum Visions, I chose to bring in 2 Spell Snare because there are a lot of very powerful 2-drops in the metagame right now. You just have to think about Storm, about Mardu Pyromancer, Burn, Abzan, Death Shadow, 5-color Death Shadow, I mean. So yeah, you have to be prepared for 2-drops. 4 Snapcaster Mages, 3 Lightning Helix, 1 Vandillion Click over the 3rd Geist Saint Draft. I've even seen players go back to 4 Geists, but really I think that's too much. Most of the times you really want to have one, but you can't afford to draw the second one. Of course, you can just make your first Geist of Saint Draft suicide and play another one, but we're only playing 24 lands and we don't have that often enough mana available to cast Geist of Saint Draft and still have a counterspell in backup. So yeah, I don't think that having 4 is the great number. I can understand why you want to play 3. It increases your chances to have one each game. But some games, Geist of Saint Draft is just the lighthouse, and in some other matchups where your opponent is just swarming you and overloading you with creatures, you can't attack with Geist unless you have Cryptic Command and Snapcaster Mage in backup just to do the trick of tap bounce, Snapcaster Mage and do it again. So yeah, I don't think that more than 2 or 3 is a great number, and I chose Vandillion Click over the 3rd one because Vandillion Click flies, so it has evasion, plus it helps in control or combo matchups. 4 Spell Quellers, 2 Electrolyzes, 4 Cryptic Commands. I know some players only play 3, but I really think that you have to play 4 just to help your Geist of Saint Draft and to stabilize the game once you start the beatdown, or maybe just to tempo long enough for you to play your burn spells and flash them back with Snapcaster Mage and then start attacking with your Colonnade. So yeah, I think 4 is a great number. I definitely can see why you want to play 3, but I'm playing 4 and I'm quite happy with it for now. And last, 2 Logic Knots. Let's switch to the sideboard. 1 Celestial Purge, quite stock 2. 1 Dispel, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Negate, 1 Vandillion Click just to complete the first one in the main deck, because 2 can be very useful against Tron, against Storm, against Ad Nauseam, against many combo deck. Plus, it really helps in control mirrors. 1 Pia and Kiran Nalar just to tempo and grind a little bit more in grindy matchups. This card is fantastic in mid-range matchups such as Black-Green Abzan or Jund or just Black-Green Rock. And then Supreme Verdict, quite stock 2. Werther, I can see why you want to play a Braid, but I think that the versatility of this card is quite important. I like a Braid because it's either destroy an artifact or destroy a creature, basically. And sometimes you just want to have as many interactions with creatures that you can afford. But I really want to be able to deal with a Blood Moon or an Ensnaring Bridge, and having this versatility in one card is fantastic. 2 Relic of Progenitus to fight against graveyard-based strategies without entirely shutting off your own graveyard, because you will be able to refill it. You really need your Snapcaster Mage and you really need your Logic Knots, so you could play Rest in Peace, but I think that Relic of Progenitus is quite enough most of the time. One Engineered Explosives, it's very versatile, it's kind of another Wrath, it really allows you to deal with powerful threats. It's useful against Affinity, against Lantern Control, it deals with tokens, it can also deal with Liliana of the Veil, a Resolved Blood Moon, or even with 2 drops if you're playing against Merfolk or some company deck, so that's a very powerful card to have in your sideboard. And then 2 cards a little bit less usual, Settle the Wreckage, which is sort of a second Wrath, and because you are playing Geist of Saint Shafts and Spell Quellers, sometimes you just don't want to bring in Supreme Verdict, or you don't really want to play it, and having Settle the Wreckage allows you to press the reset button only for your opponent, and to keep your Spell Quellers and your Geist of Saint Shafts, and you can bring both, but I really like Settle the Wreckage, and even though it isn't as powerful as Supreme Verdict and it doesn't really deal with massive or overloading boards, Settle the Wreckage is most of the time quite fine. And then Thundermaw Hellkite, I like this card because of Mardu Pyromancer and Abzan and tokens. It's really useful to have a 5/5 flyers that's almost unblockable on the turn it arrives on the battlefield. Plus, it really helps racing against some decks. If you can play on curve, you can race the most fast decks of the format. You can just end up the game against a Burn player, you can end up the game against a Valakut player, a Tron player, an Eldra Tron player. This card is a bit of a gamble. You could play something else, and usually I do play something else, but because of the extremely high number of token flyers in the current metagame, I like to bring in Thundermaw Hellkite. Plus, players usually don't really expect it, and that's kind of a surprise. So that's it for this deck tech. See you in the games. Bye bye!